welcome back to the channel. Today we got our 2017 Ecoboost Mustang behind us. We're going to talk about the life of this Ecoboost in my possession, how I picked it up, and all the parts that I've put on it to get it to this point today. So 2017 Ecoboost Mustang Performance Pack came with bigger brakes from the factory, manual transmission, 373 limited slip or track lock differential, 4-cylinder, turbocharged 2.3 liters. Car's not bad. Not bad. Just over 300 horsepower stock. I've had S197 3 valve before that was about 300 stock, so similar power. The torque range is a little bit different, but on the top it runs pretty good. I was a little skeptical about picking up a Ecoboost Mustang, but you know, it just makes fun noises. It's fun to drive. It's really not slow. I've had a few races with my buddy. He has a GT 2018, and I can sneak him off the line and, you know, hold him off till about third gear. Once we get into third gear, he'll just start trucking by me, but not a lot. It's really not that slow. So mods, let's talk about it. The first thing I did was the Ford Performance Tune. So that is a cold air intake. It's basically the Shelby GT 350 intake, which it looks exactly the same as the one that's in my GT 350R right back there. So it comes with that cold air intake with the same filter that you get on your GT 350 and a calibration to, you know, basically give you a little bit more power, a little bit. I kind of feel it a little bit more in the middle, and on top it sort of wants to keep running. So not a huge difference, but I'm 50 state legal. We're in California, and you know, doesn't void the warranty or anything like that. So I did that. I did some spark plugs, muffler delete, so it's just straight piped from the cat back, and it's got some funny little tips on it. You know, kind of gives it that 4-cylinder kind of vibe, you know. But, you know, at first I was not really into the tips, but after a while I'm like, hey, these things are cool. This thing makes stupid noises. So speaking of stupid noises, it has a, I'm going to call it a faux blow-off valve. So I'll show you a little video of that. We carried all of that. So you can pick yourself up a tune, you can pick yourself up that valve. The exhaust, you know, we've got exhaust options, but this is literally just cut out the muffler and straight pipe the thing. Resonator delete, that sort of deal. So engine wise, that's it. Running 91 pump gas, the Ford Performance calibration, the little blow off valve recirculation. It's just a little CNC billet dealio that goes on there. So anyways, we got that on there and the exhaust. So I did have a really large heat exchanger on there. I removed it. I'm going to put it back on, but that helps in the summer when it's hot for heat soak and such. So I'm going to do a little video on installing that later. You'll see that. As far as the engine goes, that's it. I did end up installing a lightweight flywheel and a McLeod twin disc clutch. It's ceramic, so it's a little bit more on the aggressive side for the street, but we're going to be drifting the thing, so you're going to need a clutch. I don't want to deal with smoking a clutch ever. The thing's going to be stout. It's going to hold up to plenty of power. So yeah, McLeod clutch, ceramic, and their lightweight flywheel. People talk about chatter and all of that. They seem to make it like a really huge deal. Honestly, it's not that big of a deal. The clutch works great. So drivetrain wise, that's it. We're gonna go over drivetrain one more time. Ford Performance calibration. We've got the faux blow off valve, muffler delete, lightweight flywheel, and McLeod ceramic clutch. Moving on to the suspension on the car, we're running a very generic adjustable coilover on the car. Not going to talk about what I've got right now, but it's a very generic kit. It works great. It's a height adjustable. When you adjust the ride height, it raises and lowers the whole shock. The rear is just adjustable on the coil itself. And our biggest mod to the suspension is going to be the Wisefab S550 lock kit. The thing is amazing. There's a ton of angle in the car now. It still works with the sway bar. It came set up really well. Instructions were great. Mounting it in the car was really straightforward. You know, I went with some new wheel bearings and wheel speed sensors to work with this kit. I kept with the Ford stuff. So, you know, I'm not going to put any, I think they were calling for like a 350 Nissan hub, something like that. Wasn't going to get in all that, Ford parts only over here. So yeah, we've got our Wisefab S550 lock kit. It's amazing. Pick yourself up one. We've got one in stock. If anybody's looking for one, it's ready to ship out, ready to go. So as far as the rest of the suspension goes, it's stock other than the coilovers. I did install a Ford Performance strut tower brace on this car, and that's about it for the suspension. Pretty mild setup. Not a lot I had to do to get this car to drift. So we did pick up some 18-inch wheels. I'll drop the specs in the description down below. I'm running a 235/40 300 tread wear in the front, 340 tread wear in the back Zestino. Amazing tire, amazing drift tire. I love it. I've drifted them on my comp car. On a 265, they're great tires. You know, they don't delam. They'll last you a while. I'm looking forward. I have not drifted on these tires yet on this car, but we went with a square 9-inch setup so that the wheels are the same all the way around. We got a couple of extra sets of wheels for the back that match. I did some lug nuts just to make it easy for installation. Inside the car, 100% stock. The only thing that we changed inside the car was a rear seat delete, just a little bit of weight reduction. Nobody's gonna ever sit back there anyway. It just looks a lot cleaner. And then we added a Synergy Racing dual caliper handbrake. So the whole kit, straightforward install. It's real sleek. It's tucked away in their reservoir inside the center console. And the mounting bracket for the dual caliper was really a nice install. I didn't have to take the whole car apart. There was some other kits that I was looking at where it seemed like you have to remove the axle, remove the whole hub itself to bolt it onto the back. We didn't have to do this. It was in a few different pieces. It bolted together really nice. And then I went with a Wilwood caliper on both sides. And the thing's just great. I opted for a 3/4 master. I like the firmer, shorter throw. Other people like a 5/8, but I went for the 3/4. I love it. Just, you know, real right there when you need it, on more like an on and off switch. Some people tend to like a little bit more feel. I don't deal with any of that. I want the thing to lock up. I want it to lock up now, and I don't want to be putting my elbow, you know, into the back seat when I do it. So yeah, that's all I can really think of. If I missed anything, I'll go over it a little bit later. Bitchin' car. Bitchin' car. Yeah. Yeah, she feels good. So we can just talk about the Mustang Ecoboost. It's a 2017. I picked it up used, got a pretty good deal on it. Got a warranty. It's a performance pack, so it's basically a GT, suspension-wise, brake-wise. This is a 6-speed manual. Comes with oil pressure gauge and a boost gauge on the dash. You know, pretty nice little 4-cylinder 2.3 turbo. It's the same engine that's in the RS, but just with a smaller turbo. So, car makes good power. You know, there's some hate on this being a 4-banger, but I've got 8-cylinder Mustangs too, so hate all you want. I'll just bust out a bigger one. It's fun, you know, it makes all the good noises, makes me laugh, gets great gas mileage. It's a cruiser, you know, and totally trips people out when they hear the noises coming out of it. I don't think everybody really knows that they made these in 4-cylinder turbos, so you can't surprise people with it. Just try to keep it simple. It's a cool ass car. It looks good, sounds good, it's fun to drive. I don't know what more you can ask for. So I did do some cooling mods to it. I did a Grille Delete on the front, get a little bit more airflow into the car. These cars heat soak pretty bad when it gets hot. You know, we're out here in California, it gets really hot out here. So you gotta do everything you can to keep the inlet air temps down. You can definitely feel when it heat soaks and you lose power. But this car is awesome, dude. Rear seat delete, angle kit, coilovers, handbrake, dual caliper. I mean, there's kind of a lot of things going on here, but at the end, not a lot. It's an awesome car. It's a lot of fun. Don't be afraid to pick up a S550 Ecoboost. Drift with it, you know? Now let's do a little pull. Tons of fun. Sounds awesome. You know, I get in this thing and it feels, everything is in the same spot as my Shelby. You know, it's the same car, different engine combo, different purpose too. You know, you don't need a ton of horsepower to drift. It definitely is fun to have a lot of horsepower. It's definitely a lot easier to an extent, but it's harder on tires. You know, you're gonna go through way more tires, and yeah, there's something about having a low horsepower drift car. And I'm not saying this is low horsepower, but you know, it's a pretty heavy car. You know, power weight ratio in this thing 300 plus horse. You know, 3,600 pounds, something like that. My fat ass in it. I don't know how to get into that, but anyways, it does the job. I'll be looking forward to getting this thing out to the skid pad or the balcony or ABS or something and slide it around. You know, I did at one point try to slide it around with just rack spacers. That was fun, but in the end, you know, I had to go pretty much full retard. Sweet ass car. Don't be ashamed you got a 4-cylinder. Maybe if you got an automatic, you know? But yeah, don't be ashamed. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more content on the Ecoboost.